Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your go-to English podcast for learning English and growing through real life. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. And before we jump into today's topic, we want to share something important and, honestly, long overdue.
Yeah, we've been reading your comments, and one request kept coming up again and again. Can you please tell us the English level of each podcast episode? A lot of you said it would help you choose what to listen to, based on your current level, and honestly, it makes total sense.
So, we're doing exactly that. Starting now, we're organizing all our podcast episodes into clear levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You'll see the level mentioned in the thumbnail of each video, and we're also creating separate playlists for each level to make it super easy to navigate.
Exactly. So if you're just starting out, or if you're ready for a challenge, you'll always know which episode is right for you. No more guessing.
And speaking of the right episode, today's one is perfect for intermediate B1 learners. We're talking about something we all think about: money and happiness.
Yep, we all think about it. We work hard, save money, dream big. But is money really the key to happiness? Or is it just part of the puzzle?
That's what we're exploring today, and to help us understand it in a deeper, more personal way, we're passing the mic to Crystal.
She's going to share a short story or a powerful piece of listening practice around the theme of money and happiness. Something you can listen to, learn from, and maybe even shadow for practice.
But hey, stick around till the end, because Crystal will also do a vocabulary breakdown of useful words and expressions from today's episode. Super helpful for boosting your English naturally.
And yes, we've also created a free PDF for you. It includes comprehension questions, grammar practice, vocabulary exercises, and a little reflection prompt so you can use what you learn.
Oh, and one last thing. We're curious, and we want to hear from you. Is Crystal's storytelling clear and helpful for you? She's new to the show, and your feedback helps us know what's working and what's not.
Yeah, because let's be honest, a great voice can make learning enjoyable. And the wrong one? It can make you zone out in 5 seconds.
Exactly. So drop a comment below. And now, Crystal, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Erin and Evan. I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. And I'm especially excited because today's topic is something that touches all of us, no matter where we live or what we do. We all think about money. We all think about happiness. And many people believe the two always come together. Like, if you get more money, you automatically get more happiness. But life doesn't always work like that. Let's take a quiet moment to explore some gentle truths, not from books or lectures, but from reflection. Sometimes, without realizing it, we start using money as a mirror that tells us if we're successful or valuable or doing enough. We compare our lives with others, how much they earn, what they buy, where they travel. And suddenly, our own quiet joy feels too small. But the truth is, your worth has never been about your income. You are not a number, not a paycheck. You are a person, and your value was never meant to be measured by what you earn. I once knew someone who earned very little but always smiled. She grew herbs in small pots, made tea for neighbors, and talked to the postman like he was family. Her life was simple, but she never seemed to question her value. And somehow that confidence felt richer than any salary I'd ever heard of. And maybe that brings us to the next reflection, a subtle shift in thinking. Comfort is not the same as contentment. Money can buy comfort, and that matters. A warm blanket, a roof that doesn't leak, a good cup of coffee on a rainy morning. Comfort makes life easier. But contentment, that quiet feeling of this is enough, doesn't come from shopping carts or big paychecks. It comes from connection, from moments, from noticing what's already here. You can sit in the softest chair in the most beautiful house and still feel restless. Or you can share a simple dinner with someone you love and feel completely at peace. There was a time I stayed at a luxury hotel, everything polished and quiet. But I felt alone. That same month, I visited a friend who lived in a tiny studio. We cooked, laughed, and slept on a mattress on the floor. That night, I slept better. So maybe the question isn't, what can I buy to feel better? But what do I already have that makes me feel whole? And as we think about that, we have to talk about the currency we forget: time. Time is the quietest form of wealth. Every job, every task, every dollar we earn, it all costs time. But we rarely pause to ask, is this how I want to spend my life? We chase more success, more status, more stuff. But while we're running, the quiet moments drift away. A slow walk, a deep conversation, a moment of rest. Money can buy things. But time? Once it's spent, it doesn't come back. When I was younger, I said yes to every opportunity. I thought that made me ambitious. But one day, I realized I hadn't watched a sunset in months. I was present in meetings, but absent in my life. And that thought led me to a powerful question. What if we stopped chasing more and started asking, what is enough? We live in a world that whispers, more is better. More money, more success, more followers, more everything. But we rarely stop to ask a softer, wiser question. What is enough for me? Enough doesn't have to mean average. It means peaceful. It means knowing where to stop so that joy doesn't get buried under the weight of too much. One of the most content people I've ever met had a one-bedroom flat, a second-hand bike, and no social media. But every morning, he brewed his coffee slowly, fed the birds outside his window, and read poetry. That was his version of enough. So pause for a moment and ask yourself gently, what does enough look like in my life? And once we understand enough, we realize we often have something worth giving, even if it's small. There's a quiet joy in giving, not out of pressure or guilt, but from the heart. Whether it's a kind word, a small gift, or a helping hand, sharing what we have reminds us that we're connected. And the beautiful part? Giving doesn't shrink your happiness. It expands it. People who give, even just a little, often feel more purposeful, more fulfilled, more human. Because when we lift someone else, we rise too. I once saw a man give his umbrella to a stranger in the rain and walk away soaking wet, smiling. He didn't give because he had extra. He gave because he saw someone else in need. That moment stuck with me, because sometimes a small act of kindness can be more powerful than a large paycheck. And that leads us to one more gentle shift. From status to time. It's easy to fall into the trap of upgrading everything, clothes, gadgets, furniture, to feel successful. But real peace doesn't come from having the latest things. It comes from having time. Time to rest. Time to think. Time to be with people you love. So instead of using money to impress, what if we used it to slow down, to take a day off, to say no to burnout, to create space in our lives instead of clutter? Because status fades, but time well spent becomes part of you. And when we start noticing time, we also start noticing something even smaller, but even more powerful. Now let's come back to something very simple. Not big ideas, not big goals, just small moments. The truth is, real happiness often lives in places we forget to look. It lives in the quiet hum of morning, in the first sip of tea, in the sound of your loved one laughing at something silly. These small, ordinary moments, they're not small at all. They're everything. Money can buy many things, but it can't buy the feeling of being truly present. It can't buy peace in your heart or joy that blooms without effort. So if you're searching for happiness, maybe you don't have to look so far. Maybe it's already here, in the little things, in the now. Let's hold that gently and let it remind us. Happiness doesn't need to be earned. Sometimes it just needs to be noticed. And now, before we close today's reflection, let's take a moment to slow down even more and look at some of the gentle, powerful words we use throughout this journey. Words that can help you not only understand English better, but also speak about money, life, and happiness in a more natural way. All right, here's a beautiful word we heard today. Contentment. Contentment. It means a feeling of quiet happiness and peace with what you already have. Not chasing, not craving, just being gently okay. Example, she lived simply but with great contentment. Let's repeat together. She lived simply but with great contentment. Ah, peaceful, right? Now here's one that matters a lot. Worth. Worth. This word is about value, not money, but personal value. When we say you are worthy, we mean you matter, no matter your income. Example, your worth is not based on your salary. Say it with me. Your worth is not based on your salary. Beautiful. Let's talk about this one. Restless. Restless. It means you can't relax. You feel uneasy, like something's missing. It often shows up when life looks good on the outside, but feels empty inside. Example, even in his big house, he felt restless. Let's try that together. Even in his big house, he felt restless. Yeah, you can feel that one. Here's one we all know too well. Clutter. Clutter. Clutter means too much stuff, in your room or even in your mind. Less clutter, more clarity. Example, she wanted less clutter and more peace in her life. Repeat after me. She wanted less clutter and more peace in her life. Nice and simple. This one's soft but powerful. Presence. Presence. It means being fully there, not distracted, not thinking about the past or future, just present. Example, real happiness comes from presence, not presence. Say that with me. Real happiness comes from presence, not presence. That one's a keeper. Ready for another? Chase. Chase. To chase means to run after something, usually a goal or desire. Sometimes we chase more money, more success, and forget to rest. Example, we spend years chasing more without asking if it makes us happier. Let's say it together. We spend years chasing more without asking if it makes us happier. Important to remember. Here comes a gentle one. Enough. Enough. Enough means sufficient. Not too little, not too much. Just right. Example, she finally realized she had enough to be happy. Let's repeat that. She finally realized she had enough to be happy. Beautiful truth. Next is one we need to watch for. Burnout. Burnout. Burnout is what happens when we push too hard for too long and feel drained. Example, he said yes to everything until burnout hit him. Say it with me. He said yes to everything until burnout hit him. Take care of yourself, okay? And finally, this soft expression. Drift away. Drift away. It means something slowly disappears, like time or peace when we're too busy. Example, The quiet moments drift away while we chase success. Repeat after me. The quiet moments drift away while we chase success. Let's try not to let them drift too far. That's it for today's vocabulary. These words don't just improve your English. They help you think more clearly about your own life. And that's powerful.
Wow. Crystal, that was beautiful. I feel like I just took a deep breath for the first time today.
Same here. It's amazing how much reflection a calm voice and the right words can bring. If you're listening right now, we hope that gave you not just better English, but also better clarity about your own relationship with money and happiness.
And as always, don't forget, you can download the free PDF from today's episode. It includes the full vocabulary list, comprehension questions, and a reflection exercise to help you go deeper.
And hey, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed Crystal's storytelling. Is this a format you'd love more of? We're listening.
We have so many more episodes coming your way, full of real English, gentle reflections, and topics that truly matter.
So until then, be kind to yourself. Keep learning. And remember, sometimes the smallest moments carry the deepest joy.
Thanks for spending your time with us. We'll see you next time, right here on the English Leap podcast.